don't know what's really compelling me to make this video. This is a video I never thought I was gonna make ever in my life, but maybe it's because I just turned 25 and I have a prefrontal cortex all developed in there now. Maybe the rational thinking's coming through. Just recently though, I've realized that I've been hiding something about myself that I should have never hidden, and I'll kind of explain to you guys why I've hidden it and why I've never been open about it and why I'm choosing to show you now. Like, people in my real life right now do not know I have this. Obviously minus Francesco and my friend Shailene, and oh my god, I'm already crying. I started hiding this when I was 10 years old, maybe even earlier than that, once I realized that I was different. It's something that I plan to carry with me to my grave. And I know it sounds really dramatic, but I've just never had a desire to share this until now. And it's taken me so long to like finally, oh my god, why am I crying? It's taken me like such a long time to realize like the only opinion that matters on this earth is what I think of myself and what God thinks of me. And that's all that matters. Like, I was not born to hide myself. I was not born to shy away, and I definitely am not going to spend the next however long I'm going to live of my life hiding myself. And if I have this platform, I definitely want to use it for good. I definitely want to share, like, you know, my struggles, and maybe this will really help someone, you know? Oh my god, why did I put so much makeup on today? Like, bitch, you know you were gonna cry that off. Oh my god. What the fuck? Okay, well, I'm gonna look like a mess this video. It's fine. It's fine. Let me fix this quick. Oh my god, I can't find my eyeliner. Ah! Okay, sorry. I am now back. So my secret is I have been hiding a birthmark on my arm, a very large birthmark, and you're probably gonna be confused because if you've been watching me for a long time, you've seen me with like sleeveless shirts and tank tops and, you know, doing workouts and my little sports bra, and you've seen my arm. I'm just the master at hiding it. I know how to do my makeup, I know what angles to pose, I know which hand to put up, I know how to hide this. And I'm not gonna be hiding it anymore. So this is what I have been hiding from you guys. Da, 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 da. This is it. This is her. This is the thing I've been hiding now for my whole life. And there it is. Maybe I should sit back a little bit so you guys can see it, huh? This is it. So yeah, it's a port wine stain. This is it's like a capillary issue, so my blood vessels are actually more diluted and open than normal, so that's why this kind of happens. It's just like a little wine stain, you know, on my arm. This actually used to be a lot darker. When I was 21, I got laser treatment for it because that was probably my darkest time. I was so fed up with it. I'm like, I have to get rid of it, blah, blah, blah. And I did 2 treatments. I stopped doing treatments once I came to England. So as I was filming my videos, I was actually like recovering. That's like a really, really, really difficult process too. It's not just like you get it lasered and it's done. Like, you get laser and then it like blisters and then it stays there for like weeks and weeks, and it takes months in between sessions. I only did it twice, but I really like how it lightened up, because before I think it was too dark. You know, that's just my opinion. That's what I've been hiding this whole time. It probably might not even seem like a big deal, but this is like huge. I don't even know how the fuck I'm making this video right now, because bitch, I was not lying when I said I was gonna take this to the grave. I fucking hated my birthmark growing up. So when I was a little girl, I never really thought of myself as weird or different. You know, when you're a little kid, like, you don't really think about things like that. It was just like comments from adults. Like, I remember whenever I would go swimming at the beach and I'd wear like a little swimming suit, I just remember like I'd have so many people staring at me, you know, and I knew it was because of my birthmark. You know, I'd have people come up to me and be like grown adults, be like, oh, are you okay? Like, is there anything happening at home? You know, stuff like that, because obviously it does look like a bruise. Oh my god, is that a burn? I'd have people come up to me and be like, oh my God, what's wrong with your arm? That word really stuck with me, like, what's wrong with your arm? Because I didn't think of it as just a birthmark. Like, I thought of it as like something was wrong with me. Like, why do so many people ask me about it? Why do people stare at me for it? And I remember once I got into elementary school, thank God no one made fun of me for it or bullied me. I was always like the class clown, making people laugh. Like, I was always like very outgoing and bubbly. So no one ever made fun of me for it. But it was just like a personal choice. I just didn't want to be different. Like, I fucking hated it when people would stare at me. Like, you know when you think like the thing you're insecure about, people notice, like say if your eyebrow's a little too high, your eyes a little bit droopy, you're like something. Like, my insecurity was broadcasted. Like, everyone could tell that I had this birthmark. So I was already insecure about it and I felt self-conscious. It was just so hard for me growing up, you know, wearing like a tank top, and everyone in the store would just stare at me. Like, they would just look at me like I was some circus clown. Or at least that's how I felt as a kid. I just felt like a freak. You know, so as I grew older and I became a little preteen and I was noticing like cute boys and I started getting crushes and noticing celebrities, I just felt weird. Like, I just felt so ugly and I hated myself. You know, I didn't really have a good childhood either. My parents are divorced, so I had issues with going back and forth to my dad all the time, or my dad would not come. You know, always seeing my parents fighting, and then I was getting emotionally abused at home. You know, I was told really mean things about myself. So like, that was really hard to deal with. And to be honest, like, it just felt like the icing on the cake was this birthmark. I literally felt like God hated me. So yeah, I was just really insecure about it. That's when I made the decision to just hide it. I didn't want anyone to stare at me anymore. I wanted people to like look at me for me, not for what was on my arm. You know, I'm from Canada, so most of the time it's quite chilly, but there are a couple months out of the year where it's really hot and nice. And I would literally dread the summertime. Like, when I knew it started to get a little bit hotter, I would start to get so much stress and I'd freak out because I had to worry again about covering my arm. I had to worry about being hot in the summer. Like, I was always the girl that no matter how hot it was or how hot I would always wear a long sleeve shirt. I would always wear a sweater. People would always ask me like, oh, aren't you hot? And I'd be like, no, I'm fine. Which was obviously a lie. I would have rather looked stupid for wearing a damn sweater than people look at me from my arm. On the rare occasions that I ever did show my arm, there was always something that made me just want to revert back to it. So like, I remember in the summer before going to high school, I remember someone told me I was never gonna find love, that no boy would ever like me, that I was ugly because of my birthmark. And like, that shit actually cut me so deep. I was like, wow, okay. So throughout high school, I never showed my birthmark. I knew from watching shows and movies that like, being bullied in high school could get really bad. And I just knew that I didn't want to give anyone the opportunity to bully me. So I never showed it there either. No one knows I have it other than like my best friend. My best friends in high school obviously knew, but I never showed it to the general school population. The rare occasions that I ever did wear like a sleeveless shirt, I would just put makeup on it. My mom would buy me foundation so I could just like pour it over. So when I was around 17 or 18, I don't really remember the age. I think it was 17, but it could have been 18. But that was when I just graduated high school. That was when I started to lose weight. I was slim, I was blonde, and I had the biggest confidence boost. Like, I was so confident about myself. Then I remember I got to the point where I was like, I'm just gonna show off my birthmark. Fuck it. If people don't like it, that's their problem. When I was a server, I would just like wear a shirt that like covered it up to here so you could still see this. And I just remember when I was serving this table, this lady literally pulled me aside and was like, hey, did you know like you can get that removed? Like, you don't have to live with that. Like, I totally understand probably where she was coming from. Like, maybe she thought that I didn't know that. But like, that's just not, like, I don't know you. I've never talked to you in my life. Like, it's kind of weird to go up to someone and say, hey, you know you can get this removed, right? Like, you don't have to live with that. Like, to me, like, it just comes across as people saying that there's something wrong with it. I remember when I went to the vet's office with my aunt once, the vet was, like, so intrigued by it. He's like, oh my God, like, I've never seen a port wine stained place like that. Like, can I observe your arm for a bit? So it was just like all these things made me feel like such a fucking freak. Like, you know, like so many people would just say ignorant, rude things to me. It doesn't sound like a big deal, but your most thing that you're most insecure about, like most you guys will never experience someone pointing out your insecurities or your flaws. Like, no one experiences that. But when you're so insecure about something, and like everybody, every day, whenever you go outside, there's always people saying something about it. It just really just like broke me down. And it just made me think, like, I never want to show people this again. And I just remember thinking, like, why was I given this? Like, why was I born with this? And, you know, the older I get, the more I realize, like, it's just not a fucking big deal. Like, I could have been born with, like, an actual health condition. Like, this has no effect on my health whatsoever. It's literally just a discoloration on my arm. And it shouldn't be this big of a deal. But you know what? I've lived the first 25 years of my life insecure, upset about it, feeling bad for myself. I just can't do it. I just don't want to live my life like that anymore. I'm really sorry, by the way, if anyone in my real life is watching this and I've never told you about it. I've just been really insecure about it. As well as the people that I've lied to. Like, a lot of people ask me, like, oh, what is that? Like, if they see a little hint of it, like, under my shirt, I always just say I fell. Which actually wasn't good, because one time someone thought that I was lying and Francesca was beating me at home. And I had to literally sit there and explain for like 20 minutes that I didn't fall. And it was actually a birthmark, but they didn't believe me. They're like, Megan, are you sure? Like, you can tell me, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, I don't really know what else to say, you guys. I think that's the end of the video. I'm sorry for hiding it for so long. You know what? I'm not gonna say sorry to anyone. I'm sorry to myself for not accepting it earlier. Like, I actually like my birthmark now. I think it makes me pretty unique, and I think it's kind of cool to have like a natural tattoo on my arm. I just really wanted to get this out though this week, and I wanted to share my story because I would have appreciated someone being open and accepting their flaws. When I was a little girl, like, there was nobody that had this. I never ever saw anyone with this. So hopefully I've done my part in the world, and I've kind of just let people know that it's okay. It's okay to look different. It's okay to be a little bit weird. And if this makes me weird or ugly, whatever, I'm accepting myself. You guys don't have to accept it. You know, strangers don't have to accept it. They can look at me all they want. God makes no mistakes. I really do think I was given this for a reason. I don't know what the reason is. Maybe this is how I died in my past life. Like, sometimes I think I got eaten by like a crocodile or a shark and my arm was ripped off in a past life. I don't know. So anyways, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. It'll be a normal video next week. But I just really wanted to share this with you guys now because I just felt like it was now time. Anyways, I love you guys, and I will see you next week. Bye.